Hello, everybody. Shaquita Graham here of AtechoWeb.com. I'm here with my wonderful friend, Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses of SuccessfulBlackWoman.com. We have to touch on a topic related to money, the IRS, and reality show stars, Nene Leaks. Let's bring it up real quick. So today it says that Nene Leaks, it was reported that she owes more than $800,000 to the IRS. And many people are chiming in on this online. Just some people saying she's stuck up. Some people saying that people are a slave, people like her are a slave to materialism, so on and so forth. So what do you have to say, Noma?
Well, the story says that the IRS put a lien on, on her property?
Well, I know that it's in the article, it says she purchased a home for $2.1 million, close by me. No, I'm just kidding. Well, we talked about the fact that I've known her in the past, and then I saw her after she got famous, and she acted like she didn't know me. But okay. So, I got a little shade, but that's okay.
But okay, so here's the thing. This is an important business lesson. Okay, the truth is, a lot of people are socialized to be employees, and we're all, well, not all of us, but a lot of us are living under that whole 40-40-40. Work for 40 hours a week to retire on 40% of your income after 40 years of work, something like that. And it's basically where you go somewhere, somebody pays you, and then they pay your taxes for you, and then maybe you pay a little more taxes at the end of the year or whatever. That's a very different scenario when you don't work for somebody and then you take ownership of your financial well-being, growth, wealth, all of that. But the unfortunate thing is a lot of times people make that transition from the employee to an employer or an entrepreneur, but they still have that mindset of the employee. And this happens a lot with a lot of new entrepreneurs, which is why it's important to actually have mentors, have masterminds, and have coaches and things like that, because it's something that can slip by the side. And then you end up making lots and lots and lots of money, but because you're acting like an employee, you're assuming that your employer, who doesn't exist, is taking care of the taxes, and they're not. And if you do this for several years, you can end up in the situation that Nene Leaks is in. And because she's made a lot of money, that is undisputable. She was the highest paid person on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She had a couple of shows that were on prime time. I don't know if it was ABC, NBC, or CBS, one of those, but she was making some major money. And she also had her own clothing line. So, for a second, I thought, is she one of those people who pretends to make a lot of money but isn't really? But the truth is, I believe she was making a lot of money. The truth is, did she have the knowledge, the information, and the mindset of an entrepreneur, a true entrepreneur, where you plan ahead and you make sure that you put your money in order as you're making it? And also, even if you have the knowledge, there's the second thing about discipline. Are you disciplined enough when you make $1 million to put away at least 25% of it for taxes, or do you squander all of it?
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to hate on Nene Leaks. I hope that she can get out of this scenario and she can continue, making good money to where she could, pay the back taxes. So, maybe she has something in place to take care of it. But I think that the takeaway here is that, when you go out here and you make money in these mainstream industries, you have to be very careful because the lifestyle can consume you. And sometimes you are playing a role and you're busy being this on-camera persona. And at the same time, in the background, you're kind of not taking care of everything. So, you kind of have to start to be, focus on being a little low key. I mean, Nene's married. She has kids. She's running several businesses. I'm sure it's difficult to juggle. And then if you add all of the work and the demands of being a celebrity and being out there in the spotlight, it's really hard to keep a balance. So I think the takeaway is to try to be balanced out here and not get sucked up in the hype of materialism, like people mentioned in some of the comments online. And to, as a business person, you have to be very, you have to have a lot of good judgment. You have to be very sharp and sober and really discipline. Yes, all of that's discipline. And a lot of times we're just thinking about, oh, I'm making money. Oh, I'm making bling. I'm getting paid. And you have to be sophisticated in business. It's a dog eat dog world out here. You're in the jungle. You're no longer in the zoo where the zookeeper comes and feeds you, and you're out here in the jungle. It's all kinds of predators. It's all kinds of obstacles out here. So, I would say before you get in business or while you're in business, be cautious. Just be very cautious.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about and gave that analogy about a zoo, because a lot of times some of these people who think they're celebrities or think they've made it actually hire accountants or somebody else to manage their money, and that person is actually the one who's mismanaged their money. And by the time they realize that their money has been mismanaged, they're in the doghouse like she is. I used to work for a management company, and one of the things that they used to say that I absolutely hated was they used to say, trust but verify. What they used to say, what they meant was, as a manager, you should trust your employees, but you should always go behind them and check that they did what they said they were going to do or what you told them to do. And I always used to say, that's such a contradiction. If you trust somebody, why would you check? Knowing what I know now, that is very, very powerful. You can trust somebody to manage your money, but you need to verify and you need to check that everything is in order. Otherwise, you might head into trouble.
Yeah. One way my husband always says it is inspect what you expect. So you definitely need to keep eyes on your money and eyes on your business. And again, I wish her the best. I think she has like a lot of money making capability still left on the table. And I think she could probably take care of that whole scenario and learn from it. I mean, that's another thing in business and failure go together. I mean, you're constantly making mistakes and tweaking and changing and pivoting. And hey, maybe that's what's going on with her.
Right. The last thing that you kind of said as well was, I just hope that this isn't one of those scenarios where a person gives the appearance of all that blinging, and she loves to talk about, I'm paid and I make more money, and I got too much money, honey, and all that. I hope that's not what's happening here, where she was giving the appearance of having all this money, and in the meantime, she just was drowning. And then it finally caught up to her, which would be very sad. I'm reminded of 50 Cent, where he, had these pictures where he had money up in the air and all this other stuff. And he hangs around with Floyd Mayweather, who also, is all about the bling and all this other stuff. And then the next thing, he was in court and he was saying, look, let me just be honest. Some of the stuff is just for show. I have money, I've made good money, but it's not what people think it is. And it's about pretending that I have it for the sake of the public or the audience or that rap lifestyle or whatever it is. But really, there isn't much behind it. So I hope that she didn't fall into that trap.
And I would say too, when you become an entrepreneur and you go into a business, understand the market, right? Because that media industry, that music industry, there's only certain people who are making the money in that, and I've had several different types of businesses, and a lot of them I dropped certain types of business because I didn't like the business model, and I didn't like the capital potential in it. The market was not big enough or something like that for me to make real money. So again, sometimes you look at something from the outside and you think, oh yeah, if I just make this one rap record, I'm going to be rich forever, or 2 or 3. And we see that a lot of people are not, or even with the television shows, a lot of these reality shows, even primetime shows, you may not be you know, these people may not be getting paid what you think they're getting paid. And they have a tremendous failure rate as far as the show can get dropped at any point and different things like that. Not to say that that is her scenario, but to say that what can we learn from this? Look at the market that you are getting involved with and look at the real money-making potential of it. That's why I love technology, and that's why I teach your billion-dollar tech career at techoweb.com, because, you know, my goal is to create my long-term sustenance in technology. So that's just me.
Right. We'll close out there. You know, all the best to you, Nene Leaks. I hope everything works out. And thank you, Shaquita, for a great conversation. If you guys want to know where to find us, I'm at successfulblackwoman.com, and my friend Shaquita is at techoweb.com. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching.